This is going to be a bad clip. All right. Asians, black, Jewish. Is that I would consider that a race. Finals or whatever. So we were like all running around. They banned us from the hotel. They're like, yeah, don't ever come back here because we were just playing like hide and go seek tag the entire time.
It checks out. We're banning 8th graders though.
Well, they were just like your organization can never come back here.
Okay.
It was like the whole team was staying in one hotel, and we snuck into Mark and Jim Cyrus's mom's room, and drank some of her Mike's Hard Lemonade. That was the first time I ever drank, and then afterwards had a sleepover with all those guys at my house, and we were stealing. We probably stole a grand total of like 5 Miller Lights. And we were like sharing them, and we were mixing them with Mountain Dew, because we call them Mountain Jews, which is like doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense. But I love it.
And we were drinking Mountain Dew and mixed with Miller Lite, and like doing trick shots, playing pool and shit. It was a good time.
I mean, 8th grade, a beer and a half. You probably feel that a little bit.
Oh, it was like that's the dragon that you're always chasing.
Exactly.
It's that first 8th grade beer.
Your first 8th grade Mountain Dew and Miller Lite. Mm-hmm. Should give that a try. Jack and I tried when we were at Maddie's on Tuesday. Did you end up trying it?
What's that?
We put an entire packet of Liquid IV into a Coors Light.
Yeah, I did see that, but I didn't try it.
It was arguably better than when you mix it with water.
I'm surprised they haven't done some shit like that. Like, yeah, it's beer, but it's like it's got electrolytes. Like, I'm surprised that that's not a product.
I am too. Like for adult leagues.
Yeah, like softball leagues or fucking like just day drinking, playing golf or whatever. You're like out in the sun.
It'd be perfect. I mean, I told Jack, I was like, I don't know if we needed to put the whole packet into one beer. We probably could have tossed it into the pitcher. Because he tossed it in, and it was like a science fair volcano. It just fucking erupted.
That stuff's kind of gross.
The Liquid IVs?
Yeah.
I think it's chalky. It doesn't taste great.
Yeah, no.
But with the beer, I thought it tasted better than when it was with water.
It's weird how long it took them to realize that people should like try to be hydrated. Like that Gatorade just now is coming out with like Pedialyte version of Gatorade.
I saw that. It's like it's their whole thing is Gatorade's supposed to be full of electrolytes, and now they're making an electrolyte version of Gatorade.
Yeah. Well, because normal Gatorade is just like 36 grams of sugar.
It's not a great source of electrolytes at all.
It's like drinking a high C from McDonald's or something. It's not.
I can't drink regular Gatorade anymore. I think it's too sugary. I like the Gatorade Zeros. Yeah. They actually taste like refreshing. They're doing something for you.
That's something that happens as you get older. You like lose your ability to like handle sugar.
Oh yeah.
Like if you had a Pixie stick right now, you'd probably be like, "This is fucking disgusting."
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
There's a little part of you that likes it, but I think it's the nostalgia part of you that likes it. But sugar is the only reason I get hungover.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you give me 50 beers, yeah, I'm not going to feel great the next day. But if I'm drinking like rum and cokes or shit like that, I'm going to have gut rot. Like, I'll feel disgusting. I'll have a headache, my stomach. I want to throw up. Worst case scenario, if I'm just drinking beer or vodka soda, I'll be tired.
Yeah. Or like cheap wine. That's like
wine
flavored.
Kills me. Absolutely kills me. But it's a fun drunk.
Yeah. I've had a lot of slap in the bag type of nights in college.
Where'd you go?
Do that. I went to Loris in Dubuque.
Are you from Iowa?
No, but I think I'm the 17th person in my family to go to that school. So like
really?
My dad went, his dad went, his dad before him went. I have like a bunch of cousins that went.
Are you happy you went?
Yeah, I mean I met my wife.
That's
it
good.
Was I think it was like I have a lot of friends in Dubuque. It wasn't a great like party time at all. I mean, it's like those small schools. The cops have nothing better to do than like we got busted at we got busted at a party one time. There was like the cops made everyone leave. They ID'd everybody. I was 21 at the time, and then they like staked out the block because there was still like 12 people in the basement that didn't have IDs, and they had like 6 fucking whatever Mike's Hard between all of them. and they like lined up the cop cars around the block. Like
You definitely got nothing
waited,
better to do if you're
waited
doing
for
that.
a warrant. Yeah, we were just heckling them the entire time, like from another balcony.
Where are you from then? Here?
I grew up in Chicago.
Okay.
So that's what I was gonna say. Or well, suburbs of Chicago. People in Chicago will get mad if you fucking. What was your area code? Like, what does your phone number start with?
Or are you like Rockford?
Yeah.
No, the reason I say this, and I was gonna bring this up, whether or not I saw you at the gas station before we came here. It's probably the most Midwest thing I've seen. If you were from Wisconsin, it would have checked out completely. But I texted you, do you mind if I come here a few minutes early? And you hadn't replied yet. So I
didn't even see that.
I was just going to sit in my car until I could show up probably around at the Quick Trip around the corner.
Yeah.
Until I was like, 5:55 is acceptable to show up. And then you showed up because you're like, I don't know if he's going to get enough beer for this.
Yeah. That's a real alcoholic move now that I think about it.
You can't, if you're gonna tell someone I'm gonna bring beer to something that's gonna be longer than 30 minutes in the Midwest, you can't bring less than 8.
Yeah.
6 is, if one person drinks faster than the other, like you said, you'll have 4, I'll be at 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you the option for there to be more. I think 12 is like the perfect. You can leave it there too.
Yeah, and I don't trust myself. I'm just too much of an alcoholic where like I just drink way faster than everybody, and for the most part am able to like keep my shit together. Like I did a show with at Two Beers' club in Janesville at the Comedy Cabin, and like it was 2 shows. I think we got there at 4. Started drinking at 4 and just had like at least a beer or 2 an hour.
Yeah.
Until the late show, which started at like 10. So I don't know how many fucking beers I had.
A beer an hour is not terrible. If you're doing 2 an hour, yeah, you're gonna be feeling it by the late one.
Yeah, I probably had like 20 beers that day.
I was pretty good at holding my stuff for sure in college. Like I had buddies be like, I don't know how you do it. I'm not a big person at all.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good at handling my stuff. It depends on the day if I'm a quick drinker or not. Like I'm already halfway through this one, so I think this is gonna be a pretty quick day. Mm-hmm. I've kind of been like, I did nothing today. Before this, I got out of bed, I went to the couch, played video games, watched some March Madness, made some food, and I'm like, I'm itching to drink, which is not good.
Yeah. How long you been doing comedy now?
Just over a year.
Yeah, that's what starts to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm from here. I didn't drink in college, but the started.
At all?
No, sorry, not college, in high school.
Oh, okay.
I drank like a fish in college. I went to UW-Madison, and so that was definitely a party school. So that, I stopped drinking heavily, though, right afterwards, which was good for me. But kind of, the comedy thing, you're right, does kick it back into gear a bit.
Dude, I see Mark Vegas's tits starting to come in and shit. I see...
Military Mark.
Like, Corey Strike. Because I don't know, I'm fucking insane, and so I quit comedy a lot, and I just like won't show up for like 6 months, and then I'll come back and Corey Strike's got like a beer belly. And it's like, yeah, it takes
you don't
about a
see
year.
it when you're there every day, but yeah, if you take that big of a gap, you're like, when the fuck
like,
did this
damn,
happen?
all these people got fat, and it's just from being in bars every night.
Yeah,
and just that's
you're
what
like,
happened to
fuck
me.
it, I get free drinks, why not have 1 or 2 or something like that? What helps me is like my job revolves around fitness, so like I work out all day, so I kind of can counterbalance it a little.
I used to do that with FedEx, like delivering packages and shit. It would just be you're on your feet all day, pretty much, taking like at least 10,000 steps a day, lifting shit, so I could eat like shit and drink, and it was no big deal. And then
the minute you stop or you work behind a desk,
yeah, the 2 like writing jobs that I've had, I've gained 20, 30 pounds. Just because I'm not doing shit.
It's quick. I noticed when I went to college and you just stop playing sports in high school.
Yeah.
Like your metabolism goes to shit. You're not moving as much. And I think I had like a grace period of freshman year, but even then I started to get like real doughy. And then I look like the Michelin Tire Man junior year.
Yeah. It's
when you do nothing and then just drink all night, when most of your calories are consumed after 8 p.m., you're going to start putting on weight.
Right. Yeah, all of a sudden you can't order, like I would play NBA 2K at my friend Tyler's house, and we would order we would get the Domino's 2 medium pizzas for $7.99.
Yeah.
Eat one pizza each, and then split a 30-pack of Busch Light.
I don't care who you are. That's not going to be good for you.
That used to be and then we would just stay up till 4 a.m. just getting hammered.
When was this?
This is after college. He stayed in Dubuque, I stayed in Dubuque, so.
How long did you stay in Dubuque for? How old are you, by the way?
I'm 29.
Okay.
How long did I stay in Dubuque? Well, I moved there in 2011, and I was there till 2020, so 9 years. It's fucking too long.
That's a long time, and
it's too long.
Decently small town.
Yeah, there's 60,000 people there, I think.
I mean,
it's as isolated as Sheboygan.
Yeah.
There's just nothing else around it, and then
how close is downtown?
Everything's an hour and a half away from Dubuque.
What's the Milwaukee equivalent in Iowa?
There isn't one.
Is Dubuque it?
No. I mean, Des Moines is our biggest city, and I think there's 280,000.
How far away is that from Dubuque?
Des Moines is in the middle of nowhere. So that's a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh, so yeah, you're just in.
Yeah, Des Moines is pretty close to Nebraska. So it's way the fuck out there.
And there's a ton of shit there too.
But yeah, they call it Eastern Iowa, which encompasses Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Muscatine, the Quad Cities, Dubuque. Everything there is an hour and a half away from each other. So we got down to Penguins and Cedar Rapids a lot. We did Iowa City, Quad Cities a lot. Even Madison's only an hour and a half away from Dubuque.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I never went to.
It's right on the border of where Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin meets. It's right where those three states kiss is Dubuque. Yeah.
Well, Chef's Kiss City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never made it to Iowa when I was at Madison. I made it to Nebraska. Nebraska's campus was fun. All my buddies.
Did you fly there?
To Nebraska? No, we drove.
Well, then you've been through Iowa, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, probably, but I never stopped and hung out there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean...
Unless you teleported. I'm pretty sure you had to get through Iowa at some point, unless you went around.
No, I've never just went there to go hang out. I don't think I knew anyone that went to Iowa.
Yeah. It's a fun time. I mean, the tailgates and Iowa City and stuff is fun.
Where is the University of Iowa?
Iowa City.
Iowa City.
And then Cedar Rapids is about 30 minutes away from Iowa City, so it's kind of two cities that intermingle a lot in terms of just shit to do, It'd be like living here and going to the city,
That's not bad.
It's you'll do it once, twice a month.
Yeah, this drive isn't terrible at all. It was 25 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
But
it's not bad. I mean, nowhere in Milwaukee is more than 20 minutes away from anything else.
No. And I'm glad most of our sporting events are downtown. The only thing you got to travel for here is a Packer game, but those are so infrequent that it feels like a trip is worth it to get up there.
That's got to be fun.
Have you ever been?
No.
Really?
I've been to the stadium before because we were going to Door County. I was well, it's right there. Let's just go to the front door and see what we can, see if they let us in. And they were doing tours and stuff. You can just, when it's the off season, you can just go up there. And I think it was during COVID, so they weren't playing at the time, and they let us go on the field and stuff, or not on the field, but into the stadium.
Lambeau's fun. I think it'd be fun to get a group of if you get a group of the comics to go, it's relatively cheap if you get a bus.
And it's doing the road, It's it's a journey. It's always an adventure.
But get on a bus. That's the best way to do it is if you get tickets at all, don't drive up there. Hop on a bus that takes you up there for $50. They usually have booze on the bus for you, or you bring your own. And depending on how nice of a bus you get, they have food catered for you. Just get the cheap one, bring your own shit. Take you up. You get there 2.5, 3 hours before the game, so you can tailgate or go to the bars, go into the game. Remember 2/4 of it. Dip out a little early, get on the bus. They take you home. You're good to go. Sober up on that bus ride, just take a nap. It's so fucking fun. I met Brandon Wine at one.
Like that's how you guys met?
No. Brandon Wine's my coworker now.
No, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if that's how you guys met.
Just at a Packer game. Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a comedian in Milwaukee. I'm like, no way.
Oh, shit. You guys have both been doing comedy for a year. You've never seen each other.
Like, do you actually come around?
All right, so what are your impressions of comedy? What did you think going in? Like, what did you think it was going to be like versus what it was actually like?
That's a good question. Literally the first thought I had sounded so arrogant, but I'll say it anyways. It's a lot easier to get booked than I thought.
My first thought was pretty similar. It was like, wow, a lot of these people really aren't that funny. Like that was not here. It was in Iowa back in like 2015 when I went up to Penguins for the first time. I was like, yeah, they're like confident, but their jokes aren't funny.
Yeah.
Was kind of the vibe that I got from a lot of the older comics. And then in the years later, like year 3, year 4, I started to get better and they were the same. And then it was like this weird thing where you like at first, like everyone is this like hero, like, oh my God, they're like in the scene. I'm not really in the scene. So, and they're like, you know,
sooner or later, they're just like, oh, that's just Steve.
It's like this person you look up to, and then like 3 years later, you're like, "Damn, that guy sucks." Like I don't know why I ever wanted him to like me, but
oh no, I've been there. It's the booking thing. I don't know. When I first started, I didn't come around. I wasn't like consistently coming around. But I was like, everyone was on these shows. I was like, oh, they're on this show, they're on that show. I'm like, I thought the venues booked these people. I didn't know it was just everyone in here picking their friends to be on a show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like getting into the group, and then waiting your turn. Like,
yeah, that's the hardest thing. And I see a lot of like new people that maybe they've been doing it for 2 months or 3 months that are like trying to get into that.
Yeah,
I remember how that felt. It's just so embarrassing.
Well, I didn't talk to anyone for the first like 2 or 3. I would go to.
That's kind of the move though, like just to be like not annoying.
Well, the best way I described it is, like you ever go to your friend's school, like in college, you went to go visit their campus and they have their college friends there.
Yeah.
Like you're friends with your friend, but you can't just be like, what's up guys? We're all best friends now. They're like, we don't fucking like you. You can't just assume you're part of it just because you're visiting now. Like you kind of have to like do something where like, he actually is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's literally just... I don't know. It's like you've been there enough times. People have seen you. People have hung out with you. And then one older comic, I've literally seen this happen with like Drew, where like Drew will be like, oh, this guy's annoying. Yeah. And then like at one point he'll just be like, nah, he's all right. And then it's like he's in. Like, you know.
It does take one older person and they're like, oh, maybe we should start putting him on a show.
Yeah, which was weird because when I moved here, it was during the pandemic. And like I already knew AJ. You know, because he started in Iowa. I think he was like 3 or 4 years in when I started. And I had done some shows with him. I talked to him about coming out here. I had done shows with like Drew and Gary before. I was hanging out with Drew like during the pandemic because we were the only 2 people like fucking Republican enough to not give a fuck about about the pandemic.
I feel you on
so
that
we were
one.
just going to bars and getting hammered. So that was like, I kind of had an in right away, which is weird.
Which is nice, but you gotta take it if you have it.
And it helped that I had been doing stand-up for 4 years and I like had done clubs and shit and I knew how to do, I knew how to like write jokes.
Yeah, you weren't a brand new person who just like happened to be friends with AJ and they're like, oh, we have to like this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I noticed it was whether people like to admit it or not. It's true. It's cliquey, and everything's cliquey. And so there's like, I got in, and I remember, it was when there were 3 comedians that were basically it was 2v1, and like one guy would go up and just be like, "Fuck this person," and then start saying jokes. And I'm like, "Oh,
wait, where was this?
This was This happened at Bremen. This happened at... you remember the mic after Bremen for a while?
Are you talking about like people going up and like saying offensive shit, and then a comic will go up after them and like fucking make fun of them or whatever?
No, like there was just a fight between these 3 comics, and they've all been on the podcast before, so I won't say their names, but they know who they are. But it was like I didn't know that, and I had 2 of them on the podcast because they were the first 2 people to actually like talk to me. I was like, hey, I do this. Do you want to come on and do it? And it was like pulling teeth with these individuals. And during the podcast, they're both like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks. In the first like 5 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck am I getting into? I feel like I'm in high school again.
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't know that coming in, and then you're like, oh, the way these people communicate, it's like they're fucking, thank you. It's like they're in high school.
It is. It's you want the upperclassmen to like you.
Yeah.
It's like joining a sport. You hope you're the freshman that's like already on varsity right away with your talents.
Yeah.
But if you're not, you just hope they like you because you're cool.
Yeah, it's a very that I remember feeling embarrassed about that, like telling other young comics, being like, I'm embarrassed that I want these people to like me. Like, it's just such a gross feeling.
That disappeared for me pretty quickly. I wanted them to like me enough where I felt welcome at the bar. After that, I was just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You seem like you kind of just don't give a fuck.
I don't. I really don't. Like I've gone through waves where there have been people like, oh, I think we're going to be, I wouldn't even say friends, but like we could be cordial, or I enjoy talking to you. And then it kind of like dissipates like anyone else. Like people come and go, but I don't really hate anyone by any means, but I'm also not bending over backwards to be like, do you like me now?
Yeah.
I care too much about what I'm doing rather than if someone else likes what I'm doing.
I was definitely the opposite of you for the first like 2 years. But it was kind of weird in Iowa because it was like...
What age did you start?
22.
I started like basically at 25.
Yeah, so you kind of like...
Maybe have a little bit more maturity at that age than...
sort of knew who you were at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I was such a mess at that point when I started comedy. I was like...
You're just graduating college too. You don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, and like I had this whole idea of who I was, and it was all just bullshit. Like, hey, hi.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello. You dumbass. What are you doing, man? What would you like?
Nothing.
Oh, she's eating a can. Well, she's not afraid of cans anymore. That's good. She's drinking beer. She drank, like I spilled a little Guinness.
Does she like beer?
No.
No?
I dipped my my mustache in Abby's beer, which is kind of gross, in like the foam because I poured it shittily, and then went down and had her lick the beer out of my mustache, and she was like...
Well, that's a good thing.
Sneezed a couple times.
My whose dog? My buddy Chad's dogs. Both of them love beer. Like,
really?
Yeah. Can't the bottle be sitting here and they'll just lick it. Foams up a little on top. I mean, they drink a whole beer if you let them. Which I don't think it's that bad for a dog, is it? It's not like chocolate.
No, it's not like chocolate, but it'll like... If they did it every day,
they gotta have like diarrhea or something.
They would have liver failure, probably.
I wonder what the liver is like on a dog.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Just being, you didn't know who you were.
Just being insecure and like, I used to write a lot of shit online, and that's kind of a weird place to be in because you create this like online ego.
What do you mean write a lot of shit online?
Like I had a blog when I was in college. That was like how I got into.
I thought you meant like Twitter. Twitter troll.
No. It was like, I was like in college. I was like, I'm gonna be a writer, so I'm gonna have a blog, and I'm gonna just like use this to throw out ideas. I was a lot of it like sports shit or like just funny like rants about things.
Yeah,
it was like kind of how I figured out how to like write comedy, I guess.
That's what this podcast is for me.
Yeah,
this was how I got into doing it. Like I wanted to do it. But I'm like, I got to get used to talking to people first. So let's start in the garage and put it on the internet and then go in front of actual people.
Well, I was like terrified in high school, and even when I started college, like I was just so fucking introverted. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I would just drink all the time, and I had like no earthly idea of what the fuck I wanted to do. And then I like started writing. Well, I started becoming a writer because the only class that I got not like a C- or lower in was writing.
Yeah.
So my first semester, I was just fucking drunk all the time. I wasn't doing any homework at all. I think I had like a 1.75 GPA after my first semester. And the only class I got a B in was critical writing. So then I was like, well, I guess I should just do that. Otherwise, I'm going to get kicked out. So and then I started writing for the newspaper, and they were like impressed. They're like, oh man, this is like really good. I can't believe it's your first article. And I was like, okay, I'll,
be a writer.
Yeah, I'll just like be a writer, I guess. And then I started doing the blog. And then it was like weird because people would come up to me and be like, oh, dude, I read your article, or like I saw your thing in the newspaper.
Damn, that is a small town.
Yeah. It would happen at Loris. Just like random people would walk up to me and like give me compliments and shit. And it was always, it's still, I don't like compliments. I don't know if you're.
I don't know how to handle them.
Yeah, I feel
like I have to give one back. And
or I have to do a little like funny thing for them. To,
exactly.
Repay their.
The worst is someone's like, anything about your looks or like what you're wearing, you're like, hey, I like that shirt. I feel like I have to say something about what they're wearing then too. And if I don't, like I'm like, hey, thanks. I fucking hate yours.
Reagan, we were standing outside smoking a cigarette, and Reagan was like, hey, I really like your shoes. And I was like, oh, thanks. My mom bought them for me. She's like, how have you ever had sex with a woman? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think past the age of 18, if you ever say your mom's done anything for you.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Instant panty dropper.
But what the fuck were we talking about?
Writing articles. You don't like compliments.
So like that's how I kind of got into it. But then like, I don't know. I had a few things go like viral in like Dubuque, where I'd like write a funny thing about like a bar in Dubuque about how like shitty it was or whatever. I do like a bar review and just trash the place.
So you're doing reviews
kind of mean.
Before anyone was doing them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I like had a blog back when that was something that you could actually get traffic to from Facebook. Now, if you post like an article, it's gonna get 5 views because they want you to pay for.
Why anyone writes? If you ever look up a recipe online.
Oh, and it's just cancer.
And then it's just fucking just articles and articles. It's like, my husband likes this on sunny days at the cabin up north. Like, I don't fucking care. Just give me the 9 ingredients that I need. Yeah, they start you off with a history lesson about apple pie. Like, apple pie was first founded in 1905 by Theodore Roosevelt. And then I found my son fucking it in the closet one day.
Just
so here's the recipe
like in there, and
he likes it.
People just scroll past it. They won't even realize. The first time I ever made an apple pie, I fucking shoved it in my ass.
No one
just
would
scrolls
know.
by, like, yeah, whatever. Tell me the recipe.
I want the 9 ingredients. What temperature do I need to bake this at? That's it. But you were just trashing bars.
Well, yeah. I mean, in retrospect, that's kind of what it was. Like, because I had written for 2 years and never had an article get more than like 60 views or something. People would share it and like 2 people would comment or something. And then I wrote this one where I just did like a review of a bar that I go to a lot, or that I used to go to a lot because now I'm banned.
Because of the article?
Yeah. So it was just a fucking shithole like college bar, and I wrote like a funny thing about it, and it went like, I woke up and it was just like 17,000 views. And I was like, what the fuck? So like everybody in Dubuque that was the age to go to a bar read that article basically. So then like, I got this fucking huge ego. It was like really embarrassing. And like people would again like recognize me or like mention me in conversation. Like I was getting my hair cut one time and the guy's like, oh, you're a writer? Yeah, there's this other writer guy who like wrote this article about Gin Rickeys. It was so funny.
Did you go to that bar that weekend?
No, but I went to another bar that the same guy owned, and he recognized me, and then he like confronted me at the bar. And like, it was just whatever. He was pissed off.
Yeah.
I understand why. And I was such a like smug little fucking shit about it.
Aren't we all at the age of 19?
Yeah, 20? And I wrote like another thing afterwards, like
fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck this guy, and like I'll write whatever the fuck I want. You fucking redneck, whatever. I just was like mean, and like in retrospect. Like that's when I was like, okay, you got to be careful with like the ego thing, because that can really like run away from you, and then all of a sudden you're like making a fucking complete asshole out of yourself on the internet.
Do you now downplay anything good that happens to you?
Yeah, I mean usually, like if someone tells me oh, good set. It's like,
yeah, you're like, that's all right.
most of the time I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, or I don't say that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know what happened. I know what went well, what didn't go well. I don't need like the approval of other people, I guess, at this point. I've been doing it long enough where I just don't, like, I can, oh, fuck. God damn it.
How much?
Oh, not too much. Just a little bit.
That's not are you wet, though?
Oh, I'm very wet.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Clip it. Not going to lie, that's how long I've been doing this. That's the first thought I have. Like, that might work.
Yeah.
I hate that thought process. Because I started this because I wanted the confidence to do stand-up, and I was like, this is fun. Worst case scenario, this doesn't do well. I enjoy these conversations, and I can look back on them. Will I? Maybe if I'm dying. But now it's like, because I've gotten some success from this, it's like, oh, what's going to work on here? What's going to fit into that algorithm perfectly? And I'm like, oh, that could be a sound one day.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like...
it takes the fun out of it.
It feels like you have to just you turn it into a business, and it just becomes, and you're really like, all comics, it's just like a big narcissism competition. It's like, who can just be the most insufferable person, and that's who gets famous. It's the people that are on TikTok every fucking day making shit, like doing a million videos and doing sketches and blah blah blah, and then like they have enough followers, so they get booked on like small comedy clubs. Like I have multiple friends that book small comedy clubs, and they'll just be like, yeah, I don't know, he has the fucking followers.
They
and
sell the tickets.
He sold out a random like Sunday afternoon show, and he was terrible. He had no jokes. He had no idea what he was doing, but then he did his weird TikTok impressions at the end, and they all loved it, and and like that's the
new norm.
That's becoming like the shortcut for comics, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like. I was listening. I forgot what podcast. But there were like veteran comics who've been doing it for like 20, 30 years. They're like, I'm so sick of hearing the people. He's got 600,000 followers on Vine. Please welcome John Smith. And we're like, that means nothing. Oh boy, hello.
Hello, Bubba.
Did you say something?
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Very nice. You want some beer?
No beer.
Please stay away from the cameras. Butter. Honestly, the dog's gonna get us some views. So.
Are you stuck? Go get some food. Mom's got treats. Ooh.
Oh, her treats and jumped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, whatever. I don't really care. I'm not actively trying to get booked at stand-up right now. I'm just trying to, like, do it for a year and not, like, hate my life. Because I think I was doing a lot of that shit, too. Like, always had a podcast, always had something else going on, was always stressing out about, like, career shit. And it just got to the point where, like, you have this imagined, like, fantasy version of what your life is going to be like once you figure it out and you're, like, famous or whatever. And it's just, if you hold on to that, you're just going to compare your life to that every single day.
Oh, every time. And you're like, I'm
not there
My
yet.
life
And then 2 months go by. I'm not there yet. A year goes by. Like, I'm not there yet.
You'll never be there. That's the thing.
Yeah. And you just drive yourself insane.
Because even if you do get there, you're like, oh, I'm not where I actually could be now.
Yeah. Every time I've gotten to any sort of mountaintop in comedy, it's just been like, oh,
more.
Yeah. This is like not as fun as I thought it would be, or not as like, that's my dog humping upstairs. That's what that sound is.
No, that's what this, when I started this, I was like, I need to do this every week. And it was like almost homework for a bit after like I exhausted all my friends to come on, to the point where I was like, I was doing solo ones in my mom's garage. And I was like, and I've been there. And they're terrible. And I'm like, I got to the new year and I did like an episode where I didn't have it. I'm like, I'll just do a recap of all my favorite moments because I have everything clipped. So I don't have to do an episode. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? Because you start doing these episodes with people you can't talk to, and it's pulling teeth. I fucking hate it. And you're like, I'm looking at us. I'm like, are we at even 30 minutes yet? And I'm like, I'm just going to do this with people I want to talk to, I find funny, I find interesting, and if I'm in the mood to do it. Like, would I like it to be every week? Yes. But I don't have the pull yet where I can go be like, hey, let's get this guy on, and he's interesting every week.
Well, also, it's not a business for you yet. Like, it's not.
I have theoretically, I have made money off this. It is not enough for me to call it a
right.
business. Yeah.
It's not enough to warrant that type of like time investment. Which I would do the same thing. I did. So I'm like fucking bipolar. I don't know if you've heard that.
Talked, yeah.
But so this is like back in Dubuque even. I would get into these manic periods where I would literally do a podcast every single day, and it would be like a solo podcast of me just talking for 20 minutes. And that's why I so actively try to not give a shit about comedy now, because I know that if I do give a shit, I run the risk of just letting
back into that,
like my ego get out of control, or my fucking like desire to whatever the fuck, like this sort of like manic like takeover shit that happens. And I'm like, I know that I'm like, I will write bits, because I was doing that even when I quit. I would just I get an idea and I like work it out. I'm like, oh, that's funny. So like, I know I'm gonna do that. I know that the only thing that's going to make me quit comedy is if it becomes like that, where I'm just like obsessing about it and it's just too much and I like burn myself out. So as long as I don't burn myself out and I'm writing bits, like I can do comedy forever, and it'll just be like a fun thing that I do, and there won't be these weird expectations hanging over
the expectations kill. Like, they're the worst fucking part. But sometimes I think expectations, they are a driving force. Like I expect to do good every time I go on stage, and so you try and perform well.
Well, yeah, that never goes away. Like the
the
pride of like, no, I'm gonna be the funniest guy. I'm gonna have the line that fucking kills the room. Like, that never goes away. But yeah, the whole like marketing side of things and
I fucking hate it. I can't be the guy that posts on TikTok I'll pay someone to do it. Someone wants to do it here, go for it. I want nothing to. That's the other part though that we don't see, is a lot of those people aren't doing. We see like all the work we'd have to do to edit this or something like that.
Yeah,
they're not doing that.
Who's not?
Anyone that's like putting stuff out every day.
Oh,
that's actually like making money. There's like, they got someone else editing and doing all that shit for them. Which would be nice.
The red light is blinking on that camera. Does that mean it shut off, or does that mean it's recording?
I think you're the probably 50th person. It means it's recording.
Okay.
Thank God. What sucks?
It looks like, oh no, it paused or something.
No, I worry every time I do this. Like, we almost started this without these on. We did start this without the cameras.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like slow fade like a title card into this.
We'll do a slideshow of us making pictures for the thumbnail before. But there have been multiple times where I have these like stand mics that would clip to this, and one broke, so I don't use them anymore. But they have a front and back to them. I have like probably done like 4 episodes where I had the back facing the guest or me, so the whole episode I sound like this. Well, you would sound like this the whole time. I have like 2 cameras on and the other one's not. I had a camera shut off. I had someone's dog actually run through once and take the power cord out from one of the cameras, and the camera just shuts off. So not only does it stop recording, but that 20-minute like section chunks into gets corrupted. Which happened. I recorded Rachel Mack's special with my cameras, and someone unplugged it right when it ended, and so the last 20 minutes of day 1 on the main camera gone.
God damn.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I felt so bad, but I'm like, well, she still doesn't have it for me yet. I'm like, I have everything edited. I'm like, you guys need to get me something to put it on for you.
Yeah. But that's cool, man. Everybody's doing their own specials. I think that's good, because otherwise you just end up being like the same comic for 15 years and you never like, you know.
It's a good way to get yourself to like, all right, time to start doing some new shit. Do I think everyone needs to be putting out specials? No. There's a few people I've seen put some stuff out that I'm like, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where I'm like,
people have sent me some links in the past.
Yeah. You're like, what'd you just call this? This is a montage. This is not a special.
Yeah, or it's like I don't even know who the fucking guy is, or it's like this is just you doing 20 minutes to close out a show. It's not.
This is you. Just because you write special in the title doesn't mean it's special by any means. AJ's definitely was. That was cool to see. His looked really good.
That's AJ's stuff that he's been doing for years that is all polished up. That's like a normal headlining set for him.
Yes.
Like he actually has experience as a headliner, which is, I think, probably should be a prerequisite for like having a special.
Exactly. But the people that I've seen put out specials that don't really have experience even doing guest spots.
Not Brandon Wine, though. He's got all the guest spots in the world.
Guest spot king. I love that they start chanting guest spot at Laughing Tap now when he goes on. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't realize that was the thing until I really started like getting to know him.
Drew is just insane, man.
You can't get on that man's bad side.
No, and I've always been on his good side. I don't know why.
But if you're on his bad side, like, good fucking luck. Like,
we were tight when I first came in, so it was good.
You're also funny though, so that helps.
Yeah, I think he gets on people, man. Especially Brandon Wine, because he just doesn't.
He can get under your skin. If you don't have some thick skin, he will. It's just his demeanor. And he doesn't even say anything that mean. It's just the way he says it that you're like, fuck, am I a piece of shit?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really taken anything he says too seriously or taken it to heart
I don't
too
understand
much.
half the shit he says because half it's like Marvel Universe,
oh,
Bucks
yeah.
basketball.
When he starts talking about Marvel,
books,
I tune out.
When I get to Laughing Tap and him
Shit's
and Greg
gay,
start.
man.
What?
That was just for Drew.
Yeah.
Send that clip to him.
When I get there,
what are you playing with dolls, dude? What the hell?
You want to say anything else to him? We'll just clip this next 5 minutes. Just rip on him.
No, that's it.
Just playing with dolls?
Yeah, he's playing with dolls. He's got a lot of dolls at his house. I don't know if you've ever been there. He's got a lot of action figures.
Oh, he would call them action figures.
Yeah.
What's his biggest one?
I think they're like priceless memorabilia to him.
That's the thing. I think if people would get an inside look at Drew compared to what they see at
Yeah, I've been in his apartment a bunch of times. I mean, it's like
a lot of dolls.
There's a lot of Marvel action figures. There's a lot of dishes piled up, a lot of alcohol that he doesn't drink, which is kind of weird. He really has. He's ready
for a party.
He's kind of an alcoholic, but he's also not, because he can not drink with like a fridge full of beer. He'll just he'll be like, yeah, I don't know. I've never been
seen
here
him
for
drunk. I've never seen him drunk.
Well, he's another one who can just drink and it's like
handle it.
Yeah. He can handle his shit. Like he'll have a fridge full of beer and just be like, yeah, it's from like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago we had a party. I don't drink at home, so I don't drink. I'm like, dude, that shit would be gone.
I'm like that. Like, we have a beer fridge at our apartment. It's basically empty right now, but
is it you and Brandon Wine?
Me and Brandon Wine, yeah. Andrew Flaggy, actually.
You met and fell in love with the Packers game, and now you live together?
Yeah. We just do guest spots together. We're looking for a third, so Drew, if you want to come, I got a few shelves for all those dolls. But yeah, I don't drink I won't drink by myself. That's
that's where you and I disagree.
I've drank by myself once in my life, and I know exactly when it was. And what sucked, it's not what sucked. It was so relaxing and so enjoyable.
Yeah.
I woke up, I go, never again.
What the fuck?
Shut the fuck up.
Siri's like, don't be a pussy, drink by yourself.
The first one always goes by fast. The second one is going by real slow.
Dude, I had fucking...
Oh, I got to ask you something. Finish your thought, but...
9 beers yesterday, and I think my wife was only awake for like 5 of them. So
that's more than 50%. So you're good.
It's a lot. It's becoming excessive for sure. What were you gonna say?
Do you have an iPhone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get? I don't know how to turn it. I probably could easily turn it off. But do you get the notifications from like Apple News Spotlight show up every once in a while?
No.
Okay, so I do. I don't know
I have
why.
like an iPhone fucking 7 though.
I have a 10, I think. Do you know they're at 14 now? But so I woke up this morning and there was an article. Where's my fucking phone? There it says couple. I'll just paraphrase. It says couple tried to adopt 2 of each race. People aren't happy. Like there's a couple out there trying to Noah's Ark races of kids. What's your take on that? Because
How do you
try?
even?
Like how many races do you think they got before someone's like, "What the fuck you doing?"
How do you even like go into an adoption place and be like, "Yeah, I was really hoping for
I would like 2
Vietnamese if you got one of those in the back." Like a
Your wife's
Vietnamese
like, no,
or
honey,
a
we got that at home.
Vietnamese or like South American, something like that. Just give me one of those. No blacks, no white. Not that I'm against that. I already have
got
2.
'em. Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
What are you trying to do? Is that like someone's? Because I don't know if that's actually good intentioned at all.
Maybe they like move to a compound in like the middle of fucking Oregon or something.
Are they like doomsday prepping?
And they have all of the kids like systematically fuck each other, and then once they're of age. I'm not trying to be. Once they're all 18 and consenting to fucking their brother and sister, then they all like intermingle and have kids, and then that later generation has kids, and they like work it out to get to the final race of like this is every race mixed together.
Yeah.
How many? It just looks
what
like
would that like?
looks like Pitbull.
Someone do the numbers. How many races are there? And if we did this little compound thing, how many generations would it take for us to
create our master race?
to create the child?
You can't even say that's offensive because that is literally saying we want equal representation of every single race.
Everyone to be like 0.6% of
0.685 repeating or whatever the fucking fraction would be percent of that person. It like every single race would be represented equally.
But now, like, would you
say.
include?
This edible's kicking in a little bit. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Would you? So, would every race have to be like? Do you include half too? So if we got 2 pure whites, 2 pure blacks, but like, what if we have like? So, holy fuck!
We're in Waukesha. Come on, baby. Keep it going.
Does everyone have to be like pure 100% to start, or are we including like he's white, she's
I would
black,
say yes.
He's Mexican, he's half.
I would say yes, only because it would make the math easier.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to factor in all these other things.
But
is she crying at the top of the stairs?
The dog?
I think she is.
I love the name though.
Butter?
Yeah. I had a cat, we named it Booger. Well, we named it Arrow because we had bow and arrow.
Okay.
We're Republican too, don't worry. But we called it Booger.
It was in honor of the Indians. That's we honor them with sports team names and pet names.
That's it.
We named our golden retriever Cherokee.
After the Jeep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Why butter though?
Literally we were laying in bed, we were looking at the picture of the dog, and I said, "What should we name it?" And my wife's like, "I don't know, Butter." And then we both laughed, and I was like, "Okay,
that's it. That's perfect. That's perfect."
Yeah.
Though. Rather than overthinking it.
Yeah, it would have ended up being something stupid like Petunia or whatever.
Okay, what's the most common dog names? Like Lola and not Lola. Is Lola a common dog name?
Excuse me. I feel like Lola is a common name for like a pit bull.
Yeah.
That the owner swears is not violent. But it's actually pretty violent.
Killed 2 kids from our compound, ruining up our mathematics.
Then we got to go. If you kill 2 of the kids, then we got to go find 2 more fucking kids. And then they're going to be behind in the program.
And then when we give you our results, you'll be like, yeah, but there's an asterisk by it because fucking...
They're not going to be...
They're not the same.
They're not going to be programmed into believing our bullshit. That's the craziest thing. It's like how people in cults can just be convinced to do anything. And they'll be like, well, They just told me to do it, and I did it. Like every single like cult documentary, things got.
Dude, there's creepy as fuck. For one,
things, they kept yelling at me, and so I let them fuck me in the ass, and it's like, all right.
And now he has 17 wives.
I'm just such a like nonconformist that like the second somebody tries to do like a power move over me, if it's like a boss or something, I'm just like, fuck this place forever. Like,
oh yeah,
don't fucking like, I'm not afraid of you. I'll go fucking drive a truck again for a living. I don't give a shit. Like that's, I can't, any sort of weird dogmatic shit. That's honestly, I agree with most of like the left's opinions, but they just annoy me so much with the dogmatic shit where it makes me feel like I'm in Catholic school again, where it's like you have to be this and you're not pure enough to be one of us, and actually you're like pretty problematic, and it's like, fuck you. I know that whole game. Like, I grew up Catholic. I just don't want someone to, I don't want to care what someone else thinks of me, because then I give them power over me to like,
See, I'm like that, but with trends, like fidget spinners. I fucking hated fidget spinners.
What the fuck?
Like, I refuse to get into anything that just like all of a sudden, oh, we're all doing this right now out of nowhere, but everyone's doing. I'm like,
I'm talking about politics and religion, and you're like, yeah, fidget spinners.
I'm the most elementary adult, I think. I know. I don't care about politics, religion. I mean, I care enough. Like, I would like the world to be a better place, but I won't argue politics, religions with people just because you're not going to change anyone's mind.
Yeah, I have like.
I got that from my mom. She's like, my dad used to argue with everyone.
I used to do that too back when I was like 22. And then I got like, after that whole thing happened, I started writing for another company, and then I got like really into politics, and that's when it got like really embarrassing, the shit I was writing, because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I was just
that's the other thing. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm not gonna be like, I have a strong opinion in this, and someone comes back with facts and be like, well, I don't know where you fucking got those. So
that's what happened to me. Like, I was basically just regurgitating shit I heard online or whatever, and then
no original thought.
Yeah, it was like basically.
Is this Velcro, or did I just rip this?
No, it's fine. It's Velcro. It's a cheap Chinese couch.
You said it like it's definitely not Velcro. Like, let's pretend it's Velcro.
The cushion Velcros to the thing. Hello,
puppers.
Hi. But yeah, it wasn't even like regurgitating it, or it was to an extent, but it was like it was like I had a gut feeling about something, and then it's like the Bill Burr thing of like, let me go to imright.com. Butter, you're very nice, but that is not. Hey.
Would you like to be in the podcast?
Butter. Hi. Wife.
Can you lay down? Can you lay down? Lay down.
Good girl. Well, let's sit down.
Lay down. I'll let you chew my hat. Go hump upstairs again.
But yeah, I think it was more of like, I'm a fucking narcissist and I think I'm right, so I have this opinion, and then let me go online and look up things that agree with my opinion, and then use those things as facts to like back up what I think how the world should be. Like, I used to do a lot of that shit too, and it was like, now I kind of, I don't know, my approach is like, can you not?
What is she chewing on?
I'm really on a roll here, saying some very interesting things that I'm sure everyone is really interested in. And you're ruining the show.
What is that?
It's a ball.
I'm hesitant to throw it.
If you throw it once, she's going to come back 500 times.
I'm going to grab the full one so you don't spill it.
Hey, can you sit your butt?
Sit down.
Sit butt.
See, it sounds bad when you're knocking over beer bottles. So we've.
Also sounds bad when I'm burping into the mic.
If you sit here, people will watch you, and then you'll be famous.
We're really just a disgusting family. Not you. You're great.
He's talking about you.
Go get her.
Let's put it. If I actually edited this, I'd put a timer on it so when she would come back.
But yeah, I think I realized like oh, again, I'm just a fucking weird narcissist who's, if I don't ever check myself, I'm just going to go off and say this crazy shit and like start fights with people. And like, then I look back at it in retrospect and I'm like horrified. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. So let me just like, I guess have opinions and then try as hard as I can to not ever talk about them. Is sort of
You'd be a
sort
bar
of
fight person, wouldn't you, if you just let yourself go?
No, I would just be like a smarmy fucking douchebag. Like
the guy who sits at the end of the bar and is like, fuck that guy.
yeah. I just would
she
be.
Is it normal for girl dogs to hump?
It's normal for her. That's her daily routine.
Hump.
That's humping crab.
That's humping crab?
Yeah.
She was going at it there for a second. Is that normal, though?
Well, I don't know. She does it quite a bit.
She might be a lesbian.
Maybe. There have been dogs that have been interested in her, and she's really not.
Really?
Like male dogs that try to hump her and shit, and she's just like, okay, like she might be a lesbian.
Is that a thing? Can animals be? I know monkeys can be gay, I think.
Yeah, but are there ever any lesbian monkeys?
Are there gay penguins?
What?
Or is that just from a TV show I saw?
No,
that might be from Parks and Rec.
There's probably gay penguins. There's probably gay. I know there's gay dolphins. There's gay whales.
How do we find that out? How do we find any of that shit out?
If you're gay, the place to do it is in the ocean. That's where no one can see.
No one but the aliens. I'm convinced the aliens are in the water, not in the sky.
Hey, can you not?
Your dog is in its wine, Mom.
Butter! No! Hey, we don't bite guests in our house. That is not nice. No. Hey! Sorry.
You're good. Sit.
R.I.P. headphone
Sit.
users.
Sit. Sit.
You want a treat?
Hey, sit.
Mom's got treats.
What is your take on abortion?
She looked very concerned about it. I don't know what her take was, but yeah, it's like there's shit I believe, but it's like, does it fucking matter? You know, like why do I need to be the guy? Like I'm fucking retarded. Why do I need to be the guy that's like going on Facebook and telling everyone my opinions? They're just gonna. It's like I don't need to just be another fucking voice in the choir of people bitching about everything.
I feel that. I don't post for people who want to do well in this industry. I don't think either one of us post at all. Do you post shit at all? Besides, I see your dog stuff on Facebook now.
I have actively tried not to post anything or try to get booked or try send emails or clips or anything like.
So you don't want to be booked?
No, I'll get booked if someone books me. I'll do the show, but I'm not like.
You're not like reaching out and be like, hey, I'm looking for a spot. And stuff
not
like that.
Really, because I don't know. When I quit, I probably had like 25-ish minutes of stuff, and I really didn't like it. I really don't want to keep doing it, but now every time I get booked, I have to do like 15 minutes of old shit that I know works or it sort of works, but I just
you're
don't
sick
really.
Of it. You're not buying into it.
Yeah, I just don't really want to like do it anymore. So there's like been 2 bits that I've retired over the last like 2-3 weeks where like I did it. It got like a nasty or not a nasty response, but like all right, it's time for this bit to be done type of response. And I just don't. I want to like start from zero and just build back with like new shit that I wrote this year.
At least you brought a solution this time as to your biting.
He just wants to play tug of war.
We might have to wrap this up so we can play with you. You just wink at me? Bite. Not the microphone.
See, this is why my only social media is just a Facebook for my dog, because she's hilarious. And it's a very positive way to interface with the world.
She's aggressive with it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Biting the head, would that be like equivalent of pulling hair? Yeah. Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, she's got a dark side to her.
She's definitely a power lesbian.
Yeah. She's What do you got, man? No, but it's like I just post pictures and videos of my dog, and then the same like 8 people comment. It's like a lady who was our realtor, my wife's mom, her sister, my aunt, my mom. Those are the people that comment. It's a very
all
like
people that are
wholesome way
worried
of-
about you are looking for future business when you want to move out of here.
Wait, what?
I said it's all people who are looking out for you and then future business.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. You want to come sit by me? Okay. Come sit right here. Come over right here. Come on. Come on. Well, what do you want? You want to eat this?
Butter, you should sign us out for this one. I usually have a final question I ask. I stopped doing that a while ago. I'm trying to think of the ones I used to ask people. I asked you about Noah's Ark of Children, which was good. I would genuinely like to know the numbers on that one. I think we have to start with how many races are there. If you had to guess, how many races are there? Are we going just the main ones?
This is going to be a bad clip. All right. Asians, black, Jewish. Is that I would consider that a race.
This
white
is in order too, by the way.
I don't even remember the order. Wait, do we do every denomination of Asian? Do we do like one Japanese, one Chinese, one Vietnam, one Korean, one person from, I don't know, any other places? Oh, the Philippines. Oh, no. Was that off? Or did she just unplug it?
You just unplugged it.
Okay.
That's all right. That's perfect timing. Oh, boy. Well, so there's only... You said there was only one race? That's what you're saying? While we were gone?
There will be once our...
What do you think it looks like? Whose
Pitbull.
genes take over? Pitbull?
Yeah.
You think Pitbull is like... If you had... Final question. You're sending one person as our ambassador to the alien. Besides the child we get out of our compound, who are you sending?
It would either look like Pitbull or it would look like the Avatar, the Last Airbender. It would just be some like bald, like vaguely...
No, but like specifically on this planet now, who are you sending?
To the aliens? To
the aliens.
To
be like, hey, don't kill us yet.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what kind of aliens they are. Like, are they cool? If they're cool, I would send like Louis, because then he would go up there and be like, "Listen, I get, what's
going on.
It's a mess, but
Yeah.
like we're fine. We're good people." He would like be able to explain it in a funny way. I mean, what if they're fucking like they're just assholes? They just want to destroy us. Then you like send Vladimir Putin. Because you're like, this motherfucker's not, like, he's our scariest, meanest, like, lionest motherfucker that we got. Like, he'll just do whatever he's got to do.
So we have Putin or Louis. That's who you're sending.
Yeah.
That's our
Vladimir
Mount Rushmore
Putin.
of people right there on this
Vladimir
planet.
Putin or Louis C.K. are the two people that I would, depending on the temperament of the aliens. Because you got to, I mean, what if they're, like, super horny aliens?
Send Lisa Ann.
Send whatever the hottest.
All right, you get one more. Of our Mount Rushmore, we have Vladimir Putin, Lisa Ann,
Well,
Louis C.K. Who's our fourth Mount Rushmore of people we'd send to the aliens?
I don't think it should be Lisa Ann. I think it should be that chick from, like, if it's my Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
I get to choose the chick. I think it's that chick from the Queen's Gambit. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I never watched it. Is it a blonde girl?
She's in the Peaky Blinders. That, like, Anna, whatever I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever.
that girl.
She's very
Okay,
yeah. So it's either her because she could seduce them, or I don't know what's the other vibe. They're either here to fuck us, they're here to kill us. They're just like cool. They're just here and they're like, hey,
Curious.
what the fuck? I think that's it.
Fuck us, cool, kill us. What if they want to experiment on us?
Okay, what if they just want to like strike deals with us? Then we
Yeah.
got to send someone Jewish up there. We got to send like, I don't know, some like Better Call Saul type of dude up there to just like, no, listen, okay, all right, now I'll talk on behalf of my clients down there. Yeah, So just a Jewish guy, that one chick from the Queen's Gambit, Vladimir Putin, or Louis C.K. are the 4 people that I would send to the moon or to the aliens.
That's perfect. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Thank you. I
Good
got
night,
to pee
everybody.
so goddamn bad right now.
Okay,
too.
yeah, that door right there.
Perfect.
Not that door. That's the garage, but that door.